All right, last thing. Mac Jones, Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch asked about him. Kyle Shanahan went on and on about how good he is and how, he'd be really surprised if he's not on the team. Now, of course, they have to listen to offers on anyone, just as they would for Kyle and John themselves, but he's just so good and he meant so much. How do you interpret that?
Um, the 49ers, I think there's probably, all the teams around the league are trying to play, mental poker with each other. And I'm sure there's some people going, "Oh, you know what? Jones is going to they're going to do right by Jones and he's going to demand out and so they're going to be forced to trade him and they'll have to take a third or fourth round pick." But I think it's the Niners way of, firing a shot out there going, "Hey, look, you know, we got him under
It's not going to be
contract.
cheap.
It's not going to be cheap. He's really valuable to us. You want to come correct." So I think it's, for Shanahan to say, I really expect to see him on the roster next year. Maybe they're asking for a high pick. I mean, they will get if they keep Mac, he plays for them next year. He walks at the end of the year. They get a third round compensatory pick for him. So there's no reason to really trade him this year for a third round compensatory pick. You could just wait a year and get that pick in a year. So the only reason you trade him is if you got a deal that was better than a third round compensatory pick. So if they get, Michael Mayer in a second from the Raiders, if they got Michael Wilson in a second from the Cardinals, I could see something like that. To me, that seems like what the price tag's going to be.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Wouldn't it be interesting from the Raiders' perspective? Like everyone expects him to take Fernando Mendoza with the first pick, but what if they just didn't do that? Because I feel like he would fail. There's not enough good players there. You could trade down from number one, get a bunch of players in round one, or just the best player available in round one, and trade for Mac Jones.
Heck, I mean, if you're the 49ers and you want to, try to grow that deal and trade your number one, maybe you could get Max Crosby in that deal,
Yeah,
maybe you could get Michael Mayer, a Notre Dame tight end, I think would be perfect right now for the 49ers. He's been in the league. And I did see, Tom Brady with a, extended conversation on the field with Mac Jones before the game the other day. So, who knows? Maybe he's doing his due diligence. That would be interesting. The first pick in the draft, it's, all these guys are great until 2 years down the road, and then all of a sudden everybody's a bust. So the reality is Mac Jones is not a bust. You know what you got. He can process. He's accurate. He's an NFL quarterback. He just did it, and he's got a 1 year, $7 million contract. So you don't have to worry about that. You can take a look at him for a year. He's the ultimate. He's a much safer play than Fernando Mendoza, who could be the best player in football, but he also may crumble after taking 10 hits behind that line.
Nair Watt says we're going to make Gus DC and draft an overrated DT in the first round, aren't we? I don't think they're going DT in the first round. Personally, I think they're going offense. They need offense. They scored 6 points.
They got to find themselves a dominating guard, and they probably should have gone with Zabel over Mikel last year. And look what Zabel's done for the Hawks.
Laser Lax says, just want to say you two are the GOATs. Love when you co-host. Hell yeah. Thank you.
Man.
MBM says Pearsall should be 4 wide receiver on depth chart because injury. Well, he might not be on this team next year. We'll see. Lyle Bolliard says go get Breece Hall and Alex Pierce and fill the rest in the draft.
Breece Hall does run in the 4.3s. I mean, I'll see this. That was the one thing I really liked after the Niners lost is that McCaffrey's like, hey, go get somebody. I know I'll share time. I mean, if you can get better players and help us out, I like that. That to me tells me that he's all about winning over comfort or personal accolades.
Agree. Avian Perez, new member. Thank you. Fish and Chips, OBE, new member. Thank you. Patrick Willis says, can you please clarify who's in the Cabo clique? Have they gone to Cabo recently? I mean, it's the same guys who've been on the team forever, right? It's Kyle Juszczyk, George Kittle,
Trent,
Trent, Christian McCaffrey, Fred Warner,
Pearsall.
Those guys. I don't know about Pearsall. Maybe. Taryn Love, new member. Thank you very Terrellin Love, new member. Thank you very much. Avian Perez says, is it past DeForest Buckner's time? He would be an upgrade to an internal D-line, no?
I mean, at this point, I think when the Niners played the Colts, I was expecting D-Buck to look really awesome. And to me, and maybe it's just that night. And he was coming off an injury, but to me, he looked really old.
Patrick Willis says, "Can we trade up to get Fernando Brock to LV?" I don't. Yeah, they might. Maybe. Maybe. Cyber Radio says, "I'd rather not do the Sorensen experiment again with Bradley. Hire a strong DC that will stay. Kyle needs his Spags or Fangio." That's why I think Schwartz would be so cool. He'd probably have him for 10 years. He's not going anywhere. He's really good, but I don't think Cleveland wants to let him go. I don't know.
Would be nice to have somebody who was like for sure going to be here for like 5 years. I mean, that would be nice.
They would. Aru Illustri says, "Chat GPT and Gemini both say Jim Schwartz is a better choice than Gus Bradley, more aggressive and better on third downs. They're the same age."
Wow.
Again, he's under contract with the Browns, and I think the Browns are looking for a head coach who wants to keep Schwartz as their DC. I think that's what they want to do. So
they're trying to keep Myles Garrett happy.
Yep. All day, every day. Kim says Kyle's going to take a punter in the first. Siegfried says you should live stream Madden fixing Niners. That would be funny. I don't have a PlayStation, but maybe I should get one.